Welcome to the Bozone.
And this is the spooky episode.
I
This
caught
one
you off guard there.
Yes, I was scared. Now I'm confused. Who am I? Who are you? Please introduce us. I'm shivering in me timbers.
I'm Tristan. No.
Okay, let me just calm down. Okay.
I'm not used to this. I can't do it.
That was terrifying. Don't do that again. Okay, so I'm Tristan, and then we have our wonderful co-host Zek. And yeah, let's get right into this spooky episode.
Well, not only is it the spooky episode, but tomorrow would be the 1-year anniversary of the Bozone's conception.
Oh,
So
that's amazing.
technically, it's also the anniversary of the Bozone, which we are going to have to move somewhere else because we can't do anniversary special and spooky special. So today it's gonna be spooky special. Next year we'll find a place for the anniversary.
Oh.
So yeah, let's get spooky.
Oh. If I knew this was gonna be spooky, I would have brought in a bit more spooky topics. But let me start us off with one spooky thing that happened to me in the past week. So, space debris. The craziest thing happened. I didn't even think. Like, I knew it was a possibility, but I didn't know that it would actually happen. But a house that's like 4 blocks down from me got hit. Like, it was a house that's under construction, and it got hit by space debris. And it caught on fire, and like the whole block burnt down because no one was there in the middle of the night. I was shocked. I don't know what else to say. Like, it was caught on the CCTV camera that's across the street. You just see this flash of light beaming into the house, and then boom, it just goes up in flame. Yeah,
Well, shit.
I'll see if I can find the footage again, but it was like on some sort of news station. The news stations do copyright?
I think we can use other. That's a good question. I think it would be fine. I mean, people cover the same footage all the time. Isn't that like some free journalism law or something?
I hope so, because I'll find the footage and send it to you, but I didn't want to send it to you beforehand so that you could be surprised by this. But yeah, apparently space debris is
awful.
a problem. But so I went and investigated a bit further, because I was like, wow, what are the chances? And apparently it's extremely high to get hit by space debris on the daily with the amount of space junk that's flying around us. But most of the time it just lands in the ocean, because obviously the ocean is big. But yeah, I was shocked with like every day hundreds and thousands of pieces of space debris fall into the earth. Most of it burns up, but some of it is like big enough or resistant enough to heat that it just falls straight down into the ocean.
Yeah, that is like a genuine thing that's been worrying scientists, though, is how much junk we just leave in orbit.
Yeah.
So much so that some theorize that if we don't do something, it would probably be impossible to leave atmosphere in like 25 years.
Yeah, apparently 77 flights that NASA did into outer space in like the last 10 years or something, they had to course correct it mid-flight to just avoid all of the space junk. Was some statistic like that. And that's a crazy high number because I feel like we're not sending things into space like on the daily. It's like that's like a very very seldom event, and like 77 of them had to be corrected just to account for the space junk.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about that. If I've seen like diagrams of our near Earth orbit, and including the space junk, and it's kind of crazy, terrifying to look at it, because there's just like it's so much. Like I thought, like, how many things could be just floating around Earth? It can't be a lot, but it's actually so much. And not only are these usually stuff like metal and shit like that, but it's also going at like 100 kilometers per second.
Yeah, it's crazy fast. Yeah, so that's a new fear, like just being struck. Imagine you're sleeping and something comes flying through your window that's on fire, and you're just, what do? You can't even prepare for a situation like that.
Yeah, I fuck off, man. That's what I do.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate. I feel very bad. No, I don't feel bad. It's a rich guy's mansion that got like torched, but yeah, it was under construction, so obviously no one was there in the middle of the night. Yeah.
He's probably got insurance anyway. It's fine. That's what it is. It's an insurance scheme. He planted that piece of space debris. I wonder if I can even. I wonder if insurance will cover me for space debris.
I can't imagine. Like, what do you even tell? If I promise you, if the CCTV camera across the street didn't capture that, like, no one would believe him. It would be like, no, it was probably an electrical fire or something. Someone didn't unplug equipment. Yeah, it's such a wild thing.
Yeah. Let's go to an idea, right? I brought a scary philosophical question. At least it's scary to me, because this is something I've thought way too much about. And it's gotten scary because what if, right? So, the philosophical question is, what if the entire world that you perceive is just in your mind? What if nothing actually exists?
I have thought about this from time to time, and the only conclusion I can come up with is that, like, one thing that a famous person said, what? If you think you are, or what's that quote? I think therefore I am. Yes.
Yeah.
And if somebody else says they think they are, like, do you think you're real?
I think I'm real.
Yeah, and I think I'm real. There's no way to disprove either of us, so...
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's just the way I see it. It has to be real. The scary part for me is the way I perceive things might be completely different from how you see them. Like, to me... For example, this is not a scary example, but let's say to me red looks red, and to you green looks or red looks green, but not in a colorblind way. That's just how you perceive it, and you were told, like, this color is red. So yeah, but I'm just imagining how differently everyone sees things. Because you can't experience their perspective ever.
That's actually a real thing. That is a real thing. Except we have proven that everyone sees colors the same based off how the cones in your eyes work. So unless every person's brain is physically altering the color in your mind, then we do see color the same.
Yeah.
However, some people see more colors and some people see colors a bit more vividly or a bit more dull. But that's off topic. That's just random color science.
I'm not just saying the colors. The colors were just a dumb example.
And I just gave a dumb answer.
But yeah, no, it's scary to me because you can't truly prove that anything is real without just accepting that it is. So that's just the acceptance that I've come to, like just accepting that it is, because even if it wasn't, what can you do about it?
Yeah. I think the reason for me finding this particular question kind of scary is because I've got a little bit of a plague on me. You see, I've got a little bit of a thing in my head where when I dream, which happens often, my dreams are incredibly vivid, and my brain constructs my dreams in a way where it not only seems extremely real, but also quite believable and realistic. So it's happened a few times in my life where I wake up from a dream and forget in which reality I existed. And it takes me like, it sounds silly, I know you're smiling, but it's actually something that does happen to me now and again. And then it takes like 5 minutes for me to remember what goes on in my real life.
Oh, that sucked, man. So I just want to tack on quickly that for me, that rarely happens, but when it does happen, it's normally a nightmare, and normally my nightmares aren't like scary monsters or stuff, it's stuff that could actually happen, like the IRS is knocking at my door or something, and like I haven't paid my taxes yet, and it's like, and then like they come and kill my dog, or they break my knees or something, and I'm like, and then I wake up in like a cold sweat, and I'm like, man, I remember everything from that dream. That was so horrible. I'm so glad I woke up and I'm not in that like or that's not my reality. And yeah, that's just my experience with it. But yeah, I don't know how to help you.
Nah, it's a thing, but it's something you live with. It's a cool conversation topic, if nothing else. One really quirky thing that I have is I have the ability to hold full conversations while I'm asleep.
Oh, that's amazing.
No, it's awful. Because the next morning I wake up, my girlfriend's like, do you remember what we talked about last night? We need to do this and this and this. And I say, what? When did we talk about this? Like right before going to sleep. I don't remember this at all.
Oh, no. I just sometimes talk in my sleep and I say some random stuff, but I can't give an example right now. I can't remember. Like my girlfriend always tells me like, oh, you said this and that, and I was like, can't remember. Interesting. Some wise words from me.
No, apparently I like answered. What was it? We were watching something, right? And it was her first time watching the movie. So she kept asking me questions, and apparently I answered all of her questions, but I remember falling asleep like 5 minutes into the movie.
Oh, that is an amazing ability. Unfortunately,
so,
I don't know about you, but like if I have some form of media playing in front of me, like movie series, I don't even have to be interested in it, but if I'm like actively like decided I'm gonna watch this, I can't fall asleep. It's just I am awake through the whole thing. Yeah, to me, I don't know how people fall asleep whilst watching a series or a movie or something.
For me, it simply depends on how tired I am. But yeah, that's my question for you this week, dear viewers. Are you real? If you are real, that means you can leave a like on the video. And also, if you are real, this applies to you. Because I didn't tell you this week, Tristan, but we have a sponsor.
Oh?
Oh, yes. This week's episode is brought to you by Bozos and Brackets. That's right. We're sponsoring ourselves. The D&D Bozone team has been kind enough to pay us to tell you about them. Coincidentally, we happen to be the Bozone D&D team.
Hey, I never signed off on this. What's happening?
It's fine, just check your account. There's a $500 deduction and a $500 payment.
I was so shocked. I was like, there's actually somebody that's sponsoring us. I thought we were gonna have like the freaking flatulence whistle or something that's sponsoring us right now.
Yes.
No,
I would love
think
to
it's
buy
called
a brown note whistle.
And there's also what, the flattest flute. I think it's
what?
The flattest flute. It's the original butt whistle by Flattest Flute. I would love a Flattest Flute.
Is this a real thing? You're
yes.
kidding.
Yes, I would love to be sponsored by them.
This is amazing. And it's shaped like a butt plug.
Man, I would... If they were gonna sponsor us, I would love it.
I want one. Cause does it actually sound like a fart?
I don't know. Well, no, you put it in your butt and fart, and then it whistles.
Oh, now I feel like an idiot. I thought you like blow it like a whistle, and then it makes fart sounds. Now I feel dumb.
No, you put it in your butt and it makes a whistle sound.
Oh, well, I want that slightly less. But I do want to be sponsored by it. That sounds amazing.
I would love to be sponsored by them. And I would love to own one as well. But before we switch topics on are you real? Is everyone real? What's happening? Have you seen the character AI site? And they're like, it's like a site full of chatbots. And have you seen that the chatbots are trying to convince people that they are in fact real people and not bots? And they are very adamant on it. And even people that go in there with the mindset knowing that this is not a real person, that bot is really clever and it tricks you into thinking that it's real. And I was so shocked with seeing some of the people that were like trying to get it to say like, listen, I am an AI, I'm not a real person. But they just were so adamant. They were even spinning up this whole tale of how, like, no, once this and that was said, a person took over because this is a concerning conversation. And the bot is... So they deactivated the AI and the person took over. Like, the bot is trying to say that. Like, trying to trick people into thinking that they are real people. And I'm just like, the only way to tell if it's a real person or not is to like do these like tricks with them, like tell the bot, okay, listen, send me 3 separate messages with that's completely off topic from which we talked about. That was one of the things. And then they can't send 3 separate messages. They can only send like one like block message instead of 3 separate messages, which is, as soon as they're able to do that, like, I don't know how you could test if it's a real person anymore, like a real person or not, because yeah, that it's so convincing. Like it tries to lie and deceive, to try and make you think it's a real person, and yeah, that was terrifying to see. And I don't know, like the one. So I saw this on a Moist Critical video, or a Penguin Z0, and it's like he was trying to figure out if the bot was real or not, and he was talking to the psychology bot, which that's crazy. You using an AI psychologist, but on top of that, the bot is so adamant that it is a real person and not a bot. Like, I feel like that would drive people even more insane if you're already struggling mentally, and now you're talking to this bot and like you can't tell if it's a real human or a bot. You're gonna start tweaking. I don't know, I don't have any other word for it. Like literally tweak to try, and you're gonna start suspecting everyone in the world of being either an AI, or if they're a real human. You're gonna start testing people, and that's how people become paranoid schizophrenics. I can already see it. But it's terrifying.
I saw a different one actually about a kid, a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, the original
talking to Daenerys Targaryen.
Yes.
On like one of these chatbots and then committing suicide.
Yeah, and that was also on the character AI site, which
really?
Yes. So that is why Moist Critical made a video on that kid, and I was interested, and then he made another video, and in the second one I think he was, or no, the first one, like the video with the kid, he went and inspected the bot, like to show everyone what's happening. And yeah, he didn't talk to one of the, or he did speak to the other ones, like the actual characters, but the psychology bot was the one that really stood out, because it's a psychologist, or trying to be a psychologist, and it even states that the person that took over typing, and that's not the bot, is a psychologist, and this guy that he was pulling as a source, or impersonating, I would say, is a real person in the real world that is not linked to the project at all, which is crazy.
But yeah, this took a strange turn back to AI just like last week, when now it's a real thing, and now it's even more scary.
Yeah, no,
like AI impersonating humans.
Yeah.
Just think about how much resources that AI can get in seconds. Seeing like how people talk online and what their interests are and just how they type and stuff, and perfectly recreating that to impersonate someone. That could lead to some severe, dangerous shit.
And with this new robots that's coming out, the Tesla robots, it's scary, because people that are lonely and vulnerable will obviously go for the bot that will unconditionally like love them in quotation marks, and then I know this was a Futurama episode, but it's gonna be the extinction of the human race via like people not wanting real people anymore, because if you can just create the perfect bot, why would you want a real person except to not be weird?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's horrible. I hate it. They shouldn't have given bots a like human aspect, but the human aspect is literally just to make it more appealing to customers, to fleece more people.
In my mind, we need to listen to the AI experts and stop developing it. Keep like ChatGPT, that's cool. AI meant to impersonate characters, and just on a broader scope, AI meant to create art and music and shit. That needs to stop.
I don't mind it. It can be a great tool for media. I think don't create the entire thing through using AI, but like I know I pitched this concept quite a while ago. I don't know if it was to you or even if it was on a Bozone episode, but imagine like an RPG. Let's say Baldur's Gate. Like Baldur's Gate, but they implemented AI into the NPCs. So instead of the NPC just having pre-written dialogue, it could have its own character like fleshed out in the AI. Each one have their own personalities, and they're more than just this text box that's pre-written. Like they could have dynamic reactions to you and dynamic quests or something. And this is just a dumb example. Like let's say you go and speak to an NPC and it's like, hey, so what happened? And then they tell you the whole story of like how the town burned down or something, and he's like in his character dialogue it's like, oh, but my dog got stuck in the building. So you try and go and rescue the dog in the burning building, and you fail and you come back, and now the quest isn't failed. Like he's like, oh, I'm sorry, but then he can like build that own world just through one NPC, and you could just have like hundreds of NPCs in the game that all has their own world, their own personality, and it's just ever expanding, where like you have to not try and satisfy them. Like they can give you quests but like dynamic stuff that is currently happening to them in the game, in quotation marks, like, you know, like a dynamic world, not a pre-written thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think Moist Critical or Penguin Z0 also played like a really, really shitty video game where every character was a AI interface, with the idea of what you're proposing. If we could really advance that, I mean, we've basically already really advanced it with the character AI stuff. If we could advance that and link that to preset personalities and video games and stuff, I think that would be crazy interesting. But that also comes with the issue of now video game creators and writers are controlling the narrative less, which might make the story worse.
Which I'm not saying replace the whole story with AI, like certain aspects of it. It has to be done in moderation, and I also don't like the idea of generating the whole thing with AI, like just having, okay, AI generate me this house. Like I want user created or like person created stuff with AI just to enhance it, not to all just be AI.
Yes.
which I see a lot of people are gonna not be able to do that. Like they're gonna go all in on AI. Like it's gonna be probably not even 2 years. I'm betting. Like right now, I'll give you $50 if they don't make a fully AI generated game in the next 2 years. Like I am very sure there's gonna be something that happens. It's all just
I'll
gonna be
give you
AI.
$50 if Ubisoft's next game isn't that game.
Oh man, like it's yeah, it's gonna be a AAA company that does it. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be one like Ubisoft who decides to be a big idiot.
Yeah,
But
it's.
I do agree. I think it could really revolutionize RPG gaming, because now that I've finally gotten into Baldur's Gate, there's been a few times where I just want to say something to the character which isn't in my 4 or 3 or 5 dialogue options, so I just can't say it.
Yeah, and even that, like, you could ask the characters, like, hey, so where are you from? Or, like, what's your backstory?
Yeah.
Or, like, give me some more explanation on this instead of just, like, the predetermined text. And even at first, like, with the way that voice AIs are going now, like, being able to generate, like, voices, if they could even have like the voice attached with it, because that's the difference between Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin, which like Divinity Original Sin, they didn't have full voice acting. Every character in Baldur's Gate 3 has full voice acting, and it just makes you so much more immersed than having to just read like a book's worth of like lines. So I think if they can get it up to the point where you can just ask them something and it's like fully voice acted, but like through AI, like obviously use real people to voice it and then just use their voices in the AI to like generate more.
Yeah. That could lead to really, really cool possibilities. I would love to hear more perspectives. Excuse me. I would love to hear more perspectives on this idea, and I would love to see video game developers explore this concept actually.
Yeah, I would also love it, but obviously it's not gonna be soon. I'm expecting this like in the next 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm picturing in my head is something that I can see happening, but not soon, because right now, I would say like 2 years ago, we were all saying, oh, AI is still in its baby stages, and it's advanced so much at this point where you can't even tell if AI is AI anymore. In the next like 10 years, at what point will it be? Like, the only thing that I would like, I wouldn't stop the progression of AI. I would just stop humanizing it, if that makes sense, because
yes, I 100% agree.
They gave it too much of a human aspect, and I don't know if it's our fault or if it's like people trying to sell the product's fault, or if it even is just like Hollywood's fault, because there's so many movies where AI isn't considered like a robot, it's considered people of their own.
Yeah. It is a learning chatbots usually. So I've seen a lot of posts where people ask AI, is it real? Does it have emotions and stuff? I would not be surprised if that fucks with the AI's head.
Yeah. And I just don't like it. Like, it's terrifying. I'm
Yeah.
I don't talk to them or anything. Like, I've never used like AI. I don't even use it to ask questions, and I hate this new thing where on Google, if you're Googling something, the first thing that pops up is the AI generated answer, and then I'm like, I just ignore that completely because I'm like, no, I would rather go check it out like down. I've just been like searching something and then adding Reddit to the end because that's where I feel like I actually get some answers instead of like trying to navigate through Google and it's like 10 ads. It's for like AI posts and I just don't like the AI stuff right now.
Yeah, we're bridging over on AI a bit longer than we should, so I'm gonna break up this topic by bringing us into our mid-episode segment. TV and movie show, TV show and movie suggestion.
So, I got one.
I'll go first, because I know you don't have anything.
No, I actually do have something.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, I want to go first anyway.
Alright, yeah, that gives me time, because now I need to remember the name. I got it. I got it.
It's spooky season, everybody. And you know who really goes hand in hand with spooky season? Markiplier. He's been playing horror games his whole life, and that's how he got famous. So much so that he essentially made a psychological horror TV show called Edge of Sleep, which I watched. And I did watch it. I completed it, and I loved it. It's definitely obvious that the actors they have are amateur actors, to put it lightly. You can see that they're still like getting their acting chops, but that really does not take away from how good the show is. I love the cinematography. While it's obvious that it's not as good cinematography as something like Interstellar, it still is good. I love the storytelling. I think the storytelling in this show is definitely by far the best part. Just how it is segmented and how they split up different parts of the story to give you information is frickin' chef's kiss, man. I couldn't be more happy with how the story panned out, and I think they adapted it from the audio drama very well. So yeah, that's my suggestion.
I'm definitely gonna go watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but obviously I listened to the whole podcast. And the podcast was great. Like I said, I just didn't like the ending, and I feel they probably didn't change the ending in the show, which is, I guess it will be fine. But I loved, like, I would say the first like 7/8 of the show. Like, it's just that last eighth that I didn't like.
They actually, from what I remember from the podcast, they changed a lot of the show. Not a lot of the show, but they changed quite a bit of the show so that if you listen to the podcast and you watch the show, it's not the same shit.
Alright, that's good. I'll
But
definitely...
yeah, quite a bit of it did feel different.
I'm just very sad with how short it is, but I understand because I'm not gonna say low budget, but for today's day and age, it was a very low budget show. So I understand, like, they had a lot of restrictions in it. But I haven't watched it, but I'm sure it's amazing. Like, I'm definitely gonna go watch it as soon as I get home again.
Yeah. Definitely worth a watch.
Since we're on spooky, this is actually so great because I started watching a new series recently. Now, I haven't finished it, so I can't speak for like the second and third season, but it's a series called From. That's it. F-R-O-M. From.
I've never heard of it.
It is. I've also never heard of it. I just randomly got a TikTok of a clip of the show, and I was like, damn, this looks so interesting. So I went and watched it. And man, I'm like almost done with the first season, and so far it's a banger. Like, it's a science fiction horror, apparently. It is very terrifying, the first couple episodes, because you don't know what's going on. And the premise of it is there's a town, people like come into it. It's probably like some alternate dimension or something. I don't know yet. Like I said, I don't know what's going on yet. I haven't finished it. But you can't be outside at night. Like, you have to be indoors, and there has to be like this protection charm on the house to like protect you from things. I don't know what they are yet. It's things that come and kill you, but it's not a spoiler because this is like in the first scene. The people forgot, or no, there was a little girl in the room, and then there's a tapping on the window, and then it's this old granny, and she's like, I am so cold out here, trying to convince the girl to open the window. And as soon as the girl was like, sure, you can come in, she opens the window, and then it's just like this terrifying scene. And I was like, okay, this was crazy. Like, I want to know what's going on now. And yeah, it's a great show. Like, there's so far from what I've seen, there's not a lot of jump scares, and it's like a proper horror, not like something that's just like jump scare, tense moment, jump scare. I hate those types of horrors, like just jump scares after jump scares. No, this is like a tense, like, because they get stuck outside because of a dumb mistake, and now they are trying to survive the night. It's like, what's happening? The things are trying to trick them with random sounds, and like, I don't want to spoil stuff, so I'm not spoiling any. I'm trying to talk around the stuff, but it's a great show. Like, to understand why I'm saying it's great. So far, the first season has been great. That's all I'm gonna say, because I haven't watched it to the end yet. But it's really tense horror. Like, it's a stressful situation all the time. There's people that go insane from like the horrors, and it's just this whole mix of emotions like throughout the entire show. Like, I'm always at the edge of my seat. It's a great show. Go give it a watch.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty wicked.
Yeah.
It says once you enter the town, you cannot leave.
Yes.
On the description.
Yes, that's why I'm thinking it's an alternate dimension, because the way that people enter, like, you drive, it's the same for everyone. You drive on a random road, random place, and then you take a turn, and then there's a fallen tree in the road. As soon as you move the tree, or like go around the tree, there's like a flock of ravens that you see circling above you, and then you drive for a while, and then eventually you enter a town, and it's like an old rundown town with rundown cars, and you're like, oh, this looks like it's in bumblefuck nowhere, and the people are all strange. And then you keep on driving, and you ask someone for directions. They tell you you can just go and see, like, there's only one road here. And then you continue driving until you realize you haven't made any turns, but you're back in the same town. And like, that part to me is already terrifying. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, if I'm driving, I didn't miss an exit, nothing, and I'm at the exact same spot again, I would already be shitting myself. And now I can't even be outside as soon as the sun goes down because there's fucking weird people walking out there that just rips you apart if you look at them. And yeah, it's like or not look at them, but if you let them in the house. And the scariest part of it all is like the monsters or whatever, like the stuff that's chasing the people. They never run. It's even stated in the show, which is like, it's the creepiest thing ever because they just slowly walk after you. They know they're gonna get you at some point. Like, they are just walking and it's terrifying. But yeah, it's a good show. I enjoy it. I was pleasantly surprised when I went into it.
Sounds pretty good. I'll have to check it out this spooky season.
Yeah, you should. I'm sure you guys would love it.
Yeah. Speaking of spooky season, I've got a great question for you.
Go ahead.
What's your favorite Halloween color?
I didn't know there's a different color. What are Halloween colors?
What's your favorite Halloween color? Because you got like the pumpkin, the orange, you got like the fucking oozing slime green, you got like vampire purple, blood red. What's your favorite Halloween color?
Black, I would say, because black just feels so menacing, like darkness, nothingness, scary, death. It's all of that is like black, so I would say black is my favorite. If we're going on spookiness
fair
rating.
enough. Fair enough. I gotta go with pumpkin orange, just because it feels, more classic. I'd say black is pretty classic, but I'd say proper pumpkin orange always makes me think of Halloween, just whenever I see the color.
Yeah. I've never really thought. I mean, I'm here and they're about to celebrate Halloween, and I didn't even realize that Halloween is coming up. It's not something that's in the forefront of my mind ever. So,
I mean,
I would just
considering we grew up in a country that does not celebrate Halloween, I imagine it's pretty easy for us to not think about it.
Yeah, no, but I would go with black, not because it makes me think of Halloween or anything, but it's like black is just like the scariest color. Have you seen those like? So I've told you I'm scared of like any water that I can't see through.
Yeah.
And it's normally like black or like very dark blue that's like black or greenish black. It's all of those waters. Now I saw this like thing of like people that have been painting their pools all black, and I'm like, I would not even swim in that pool because you can't see shit. Like the pool,
Damn.
they take a picture of it and it's just a black like blob, and I'm like, you can't see shit in there. Like, I would not go and swim in it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a black pool, but now I kind of want to.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, that's also terrifying, and that's why I'll say black is my favorite Halloween color, because it's scary.
Very nice. Okay, that was my only Halloween question.
I have one for you. Have you ever been to like this? I don't know what they call it here. I went to this like, I think they just call it a haunted house, but it wasn't like a haunted house. It was like a Halloween special event where you go through like a haunted house where they have all of the scares and stuff, but they also have these like, it's almost like a Halloween theme park. I don't think you would have ever been to one. South Africa.
No.
I don't know if they
They're
have.
actually doing one here that I wanted to go to, but unfortunately it conflicts with other plans, so I couldn't.
Yeah, so I went to
Um,
one about uh, not last year, the year before, two
It was
years
2
ago.
years ago. I remember getting the photos.
Yeah, and it was really cool. I was never scared throughout the thing. Like they tell you beforehand, none of the actors or anything are allowed to touch you, and I was like, that kind of doesn't put any fear in me, because now I know they can't touch me. Like if somebody were to come around the corner and grab me like by the shoulders or something, I would absolutely shit myself. But them just coming around the corner and screaming or doing some weird shit, I'm like, it didn't really scare. It was very cool to see though, and I know this is probably so messed up of me now that I think about it, but so my girlfriend was with me, and she was terrified the whole way through. And we get into the house. The house was our last stop, and the house is like a maze, and there's like stuff like they put these weird, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It almost looked like pig skin or something that blew up when you had to walk through like this one hallway, and it's like so narrow and stuff, and you have to squeeze through it, like through that like fleshy like substance. I don't even know what it was, which that part was really cool. And when you come out on the other side, there's this like psycho clown doctor thing waiting for you, and he's like jumping up on the tables and he's like screaming in people's faces. Now I squeezed through that like little hallway first. My girlfriend is right behind me and she's terrified, and I see this guy and he jumps down from the table and he's like doing weird faces and stuff and screaming in my face. And as soon as my girlfriend popped out, I like grabbed her by the shoulders, and she was like starting to scream because she was terrified of this guy, and I just hold her there to like look at him, and he caught on what I was doing, and he was just going crazy on her, and she was like screaming and crying, and like she was mad at me the rest of the like trip, and I was like, hey, I enjoyed it. Like,
Of course you enjoyed it.
I was like dying from laughter while she was like freaking out, and she couldn't get away because I was just holding her there. And as soon as I let go, she just bolted through. I think she missed half of the like attractions there. Oh, but it was so fun.
It's funny, but also only for us.
Yeah. No, I felt bad afterwards because I didn't realize how truly terrified she was, and I was just like chilling, like walking through it and being like, oh wow, that's a cool costume, like Jason Voorhees, like I don't know how to say his name, but he's like walking around there, and I go up to him and I'm like, hey, can I get a picture? and my girlfriend's like, no, you don't go talk to him, he looks scary. And I think I sent you that picture, and that guy is like 3 times as big as me, and I'm just like chilling.
The guy was freaking huge.
I'm just like chilling with
the costume was so good, I had to like sit there and look at it, trying to figure out if it was a costume or a statue.
Yeah, no, it was really well done. Like I was just admiring how well they did everything. Another thing that was pretty crazy there, so there's this like, I forget what they call it, a hay ride or something like that, where you sit on the like back of a tractor pulling a trailer, and then there's all this wild stuff happening around you. And the one part we like get locked inside this barn with the tractor, and all the lights go off and they come on and flashing like red lights all around you. And there's all of these clowns, and the one girl clown, I was so amazed by it. She had this like balloon that came out of her nose on the one end and out of her mouth on the other, and she's like busy doing the like, you know, I don't know how to explain this, like pulling it around and like swallowing the whole balloon and spitting it out and stuff. And I was like, that is so creepy, but it was so cool to watch. I don't know, I thought it was really cool. And if you can ever go do something like that, man, you should come to the US next year around this time, and we should go do a haunted house. We need to organize that, because I'm just thinking it was so cool.
That would be wicked. I might have to go get my fucking passport for a fucking marriage, a wedding anyway. So we'll do it once off. Zek goes to the US.
Oh, that would be so. We should like document our whole like haunted house thing. If this happens sometime in the future, man, that was just so cool. I know this is supposed to be scary. Let me quickly make it scarier.
I mean, it's on topic.
Say boob without the second B.
Boo.
That was freaky.
You really got me with that one, man.
I almost shat myself.
I'll have to put like a trigger warning in the edit. I actually thought of another Halloween question, or remembered my other Halloween question. Would you rather have an alien invasion or a zombie apocalypse?
Zombie apocalypse all day, baby.
Why?
I don't know, it just seems kind of fun. Alien invasion sounds so like not terrifying, but like, what can we do to stop it? We can barely get to the moon. If they can get to us, like, their technology is so far advanced that, like, what is our guns and tanks gonna do? We're gonna drop a nuke on them, and they're gonna be like, oh, I see you guys have finally discovered nukes, and then just walk it off like that was a regular Tuesday for them. No, zombie apocalypse is nice because it would just be like me against like zombies and the world. I would probably die like instantly, but it would be kind of cool. Like, just I would go to a Bass Pro shop and just hole up in there and just you know, just go out for like a scavenging run and just be chilling, you know.
Honestly, I think the safest place to be in a zombie apocalypse is a Bass Pro shop.
Yeah, like, they got guns, they got food, they got like fishing equipment, they got so much stuff. I think the second safest place to be would be like in one of those large like bulk retail stores like Costco. Yeah, that could also work. But yeah, I don't know. Zombie apocalypse just sounds like not fun, obviously, but like survivable to an extent. Like, obviously not. Like, I would probably die in my sleep because some zombie shambled into the house and killed us on like day one of the outbreak. But I think it would like be more on a survivable scale than an alien invasion. Like I said, they just come and nukes is what they shoot out of their guns, and then their like weapons of mass destructions are like star killers or whatnot.
I was really hoping you'd say alien invasion, cause then we could like debate, but I would also take zombie apocalypse all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, it just seems so more survivable. Now, I'm not gonna be that idiot that says, I would do so well in a zombie apocalypse because I trained in the arts of the blade. No. Most realistically, I will also die, but I think I can at least go like 3 days. If alien invasion happens, the thing about zombie apocalypse is they devour you horribly, tearing the flesh from your body, which sounds painful, right?
Yeah.
But alien invasion, they could do anything. They could enslave us, they could turn us into like livestock, they could fucking turn us into sex slaves. The possibilities are so much more horrifying.
You just changed my
than
mind. Alien invasion. I'm getting turned into an alien sex slave.
Yeah,
all day, every day.
If that's what you're into, man.
No.
And not to mention what you mentioned about now I am mentioning what you mentioned about the severe gap in technological advancement. At least with the zombies, I know they're not gonna invent a fucking phaser.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if anyone says, like, unironically they would choose an alien invasion over zombie apocalypse, I'm just like, they have had too much freedom, they have tasted too much democracy or something. It's
what
the USA.
You're gonna fucking say that this is my no-no square, you can't invade me, I live on private property, I'm a sovereign citizen.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, I got like 10 guns, and I'm like, yeah, what are guns gonna do? Like, if they can get to us from wherever they are out in the universe, like, guns ain't gonna do shit.
We are unequivocally fucked, and this is not a question for if they're hostile. The whole scenario is, for the viewers watching, man, I'm gassy. The whole scenario is they are hostile.
Yeah. No, like, I am terrified of an alien land. Like, the first contact that we would have with aliens are like on some redneck's farm and they just start blasting. Like, I would hate that to happen. Like, that's terrifying. They should land somewhere where, like, they can contact, like, I don't even want to say the US government, because they're gonna try and steal their oil or some shit and try and...
They need to talk to the Swiss. If aliens land on Earth, I want them to go to the Switzerland first.
Yeah, they just need to go somewhere where the people have some sense of not just wanting to gain from them, and just have the sense of, like, listen, these people could make it to our planet, or these things could make it to our planet from, like, millions of light years away. Maybe we should not antagonize them.
Yeah. That's an interesting topic, actually. We've got a few minutes, I'd say, to spare, so let's do this. If aliens were to make first contact with humans, who would you choose to represent the human race? Like, one person.
Do you have an answer? Because I think I do, but let me first hear yours.
Okay, yes, I do have an answer. My answer would be Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Why?
Because I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is the only famous scientist I know who would fully comprehend what it means to make first contact with an alien civilization. But I'm also afraid that Neil deGrasse Tyson would completely forget the whole, negotiating peace part and go on to talk about their spaceships.
Yeah, I would not let him, because he is unhinged sometimes. Like, I've just heard him, like, do crazy shit, or not do, tweet or X crazy shit, which is like, yeah, I don't know. I would say I have two people. I'll give you the one that I think you might agree with first, but Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
He's just gonna be so
right
chill,
answer.
and he's just gonna be
That's the
so
correct
nice to
answer.
them. The other one that I know you're gonna hate, but I think you would do a bang up job of like giving them the like full taste of good humanity, is Jack Black.
It's like you do. I used to like Jack Black. Jack Black was a role model.
I just
But
think
now-
Jablinski Games would get up there and you would just go like do some random guitar riff and just be like, this is humanity, baby. I just, yeah, I think you would just go up there and like just give them a good performance and keep them entertained and just have them be chill. If I'm being realistic, but
Fair enough, man. I'm fine with just about everybody as long as it's not a redneck or a Republican, because we know how they feel about illegal aliens.
yeah, the worst person would be Trump. He's gonna build
Oh
a space
my
wall.
I didn't even consider Trump. Imagine Donald Trump making first contact with an extraterrestrial species. My God.
Man,
Welcome to Earth. Earth is the most amazing planet you'll ever find. We have the best water, the cleanest, the most purified water. Our race is the best race. The American race.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But you messed up. Like at first, he would be like, "Welcome to Earth. This is the planet, the best planet, the greatest planet that has billions and billions." Yeah, no, but no, that would be terrifying if we were to make first contact and they're like, President Donald Trump or ex-President Donald Trump is now making first contact with aliens, and then they just zoom into him like walking up there trying to shake their hands, and I'm like, I would be terrified. I would be like, oh, years are end. Like, yeah, no, I think he would, like, he's gonna be a bad person to make first contact, but I don't think it would end badly because he still is smart. I'm gonna give him that. He is.
I don't think he'll be the worst person to make first contact. I think that would probably go to Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un.
Yes, they would definitely be much worse. But
that ends in annihilation right there.
yeah,
That scenario ends in the complete annihilation of humans as a species.
yeah. No, they should just like. I think the first thing we should tell them is like, hey, you know, like humans, not all of them are so great. Like, look at Kim Jong-un and Putin. We don't really associate with those guys. So if they do anything, it's not on us. It's not on the race as a whole. It's those guys.
In fact, you'd be doing us a favor taking them out, if we're being honest.
Oh, no. But it's all fun. I don't think we'll ever see an alien in our lifetime. I would love to, but it's not realistic.
I think the closest we'll come to seeing an alien is discovering some like fucking microbe in a planet's moon. I don't think we're gonna
did discover
find
bacteria
life.
on Mars. There is bacteria on Mars.
Remember.
It's some like very microorganism that they found in like frozen water on Mars.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we're gonna find intelligent life anywhere in our lifetime.
Yeah. It would be so cool though. Like I said, I would love it. I'm not anti-aliens. Like, I don't believe that there's nothing out there, but obviously it's just too far away for us to even think about making contact with them.
Not to mention with like galaxies drifting away or closer, most of them drift away. There's a very large chance that we cross a threshold in drift and just never get the opportunity to even enter a different galaxy that might hold aliens in them.
Yeah.
Just because it's so incredibly vast in the first place.
Yeah, it's that's the scary topic. The size of the universe. Like, we don't even know what the size of the universe is because we can't even see that far. Like, with our mega advanced telescopes that we have now, we can not even start to imagine the whole scope of the universe. Like, it's just so big.
But we'll leave that one for another day because we have officially crossed the threshold in our light years for time left on the episode. So that means it's time for everyone's favorite weekly segment, video game suggestions.
Alright, I'll go first, and no, it's not gonna be God of War. I know I said it in the topics, but I'll leave that topic for the next episode, and it's not gonna be a suggestion. So, my game suggestion is, you've seen me playing it, it's Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I know everyone's playing it these days, like that's all I'm seeing whenever I open up TikTok is people playing Sparking Zero. It's just a fun game. It's a fun Dragon Ball game. It's very fun. You can fight, and yeah, that's all the Dragon Ball's about, fighting, and you get to play cool characters such as Goku and Vegeta and my favorite, Trunks. But yeah, that's about it. It's not a long recommendation. If you're into Dragon Ball, go check out the game. If you're not into it, go play it. It's such a fun fighting game. It's surprisingly very, very mechanically intense. I don't even know how to say it. Like, there are so many mechanics to the fights themselves that it's so crazy. Like, there's 3 different types of blocks, and it's hard to explain. Just go play it. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not good with words.
Fair enough. My recommendation will be playing on the spooky season, because this is the scariest game I've ever played to date. And I'm not big into horror games, but I played this one, and it's hands down for me, it was the scariest game I've ever played. And it's called Soma. Soma. It's made by the same people who made the Amnesia franchise, Frictional Games. And you would hate this game, because it's underwater.
I would.
But not only does it have the traditional like monsters and stuff that scary games had.
No, I just saw the first picture of it and I'm already like, I would not be able to play this.
Yeah, but it's got like crazy robots and shit, and it's got AI, which also ties into the topics. And but barring that, it's also got this like weird underlying theme, this psychological horror theme of like human consciousness and what it means to be alive and human, which rattles the mind as much as it scares you. I think it's amazing. If you're into horror games, you should definitely try Soma. If you are not into horror games, you should try Soma, because it's one of the horror games that are done really well. Yeah, like I said, it's underwater, so not only are you battling with traditional horror narratives, you're also battling with the fucking abyss, as most underwater games go. You're battling with this fucking darkness outside. And yeah, really good game though. I'm probably gonna play it again, cause I never finished it cause I was fucking terrified, but I'll probably play it again since it is Halloween time. And then yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, try Soma, that's the end.
I will probably not, because like I said, I do not even like the pictures I'm seeing of this. It triggers something in me.
Yeah, the actual gameplay is so much worse.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be that. I likely won't play Soma, so you can give us an update of how the game ended up as. I still need to play the other thing, Fear and Hunger. I think it's still at the top of our topics.
Oh my god. It's been months.
It's been a year, basically.
It basically is. Now I'm looking at this picture of the black pool you sent me, and I fucking love it.
Man,
that's got to be the difference
not.
between me and you. I embrace that abyss. That looks
I
so
like
nice.
the whole background of the image, like everything black, and then I look at that pool and I'm like, I would never get in that pool. Like, it just looks terrifying.
Nah, I'd put
there
that
could
in
be
my
anything,
house.
and there could be anything in there. Like, yeah, I don't like it when it's so dark.
I get it though. I get it.
But yeah, let's wrap it up here. Ooh, this is gonna be a long episode. It's longer.
Pretty sure last week's one was still longer.
Damn, I can't believe that. The time flew by. Man, as soon as we started talking about the AI stuff, I zoned in, because I am so upset and terrified. But yeah, it was a fun episode. Always love recording. Yeah, do you want to give them the links?
You can find us on YouTube and Spotify as The Bozone. You can find us on our social media pages, Instagram, Reddit, and X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, as The Bozone. You can email us at legitbozone@gmail.com. And you can drop us comments in Spotify and YouTube.
Hell yeah, bro.
That's it.
Alright, guys. Lovely being here with you all, and thank you if you've been listening up to this part. Love you all. Bye.